Hello, John. Take a seat. Oh, I can sit down now. So these are my two judges. Would you like to introduce yourself, John?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Some of you know me. I've spent 90% of my career in the agency world doing what most of you do, is flogging your wares to clients. And 2 years ago, I went to the other side. So perhaps my filter tonight is what I've learned going on the other side, because it's been quite an extraordinary experience. But I sympathise with you. It's tough out there.
You're now on the side of the angels.
Apparently so.
Adrian.
So hi everybody, my name is Adrian Lawler. I'm Marketing and Business Development Director for Keypack Convenience Foods, which is a division of a large meat company. The division I work for is mostly built around the Rustlers brand. And talking about the other side of the fence, I've spent much of my career in commercial and more sales roles. So again, my filter for tonight has been probably my experience sitting on that side of the fence. So.
Great, thank you, Adrian. Adrian and I, we worked with Adrian because between Christmas and New Year, Adrian sent us an email and said, we're looking for an agency and a bit of help on doing a few things. I wonder if you're the kind of people who can help us. And I phoned you, and we both agreed that we were the two saddest people, basically, in the UK, because both of us were working.
Absolutely.
On that day between Christmas and New Year. It was us. So, the best agency film. What we did was we created some shared criteria. I'm going to tell you what those shared criteria are. You can see them here. And then I'm going to just ask John and Adrian to kind of elucidate a little bit more on what that meant to them. So as you can see, what we wanted to know was, did the film tell a story? Did it have a beginning and a middle and an end? And what we saw was the films weren't all just about agencies. They might have been work that was kind of describing great things about the agency. Did they show evidence and great results? So, something everyone's very passionate about. Was it emotional? Was it exciting to watch? Was there a clear agency brand DNA coming through? When there's something that's so hard to get, what was that DNA? Did it come through? Was it something that you could see? And then, did they seem innovative? So, John, why don't we start with you? What does that mean to you when you were looking at these?
Yeah, I think, clearly, without saying the obvious, it's a well-supplied business. And all of the films, actually, in their own right, were worthy, and I'd say pretty much every film that you looked at deserves to be, on the roster of a client. So then you step back and you say, what's the thing that stands out? And I guess for me, if I separate all those individual criteria, the thing that I feel most important to me is confidence. And that's the one thing I'd say going over to the client side, I've sort of realized more than anything, is what you're buying is the confidence that this team of people will solve your creative issue, whatever you define it as. And so within that kind of context, I go, which was the most confidence-inspiring film? And that's really why, if you step beyond the individual, that comes up.
And Adrian, what were you looking at? Was confidence one of those things? Were there other things you were looking at?
Yeah, I think absolutely confidence. You have to start with why you're entering into looking at these videos, or these films in the first place. And to me, it's really, you're going to speak to an agency to solve your problem, but ultimately step change a business performance. So to me, the really key thing throughout the videos as a key kind of like base point was around the demonstration of commercial results, which is ultimately what you're in the process for. And I think secondly, the quality of storytelling, and I think that and DNA are really interlinked, because essentially as the job that you're looking to be done as a client is for somebody to bring their talents to bear on your challenge and to tell your story, and really the agency film is a real parallel to that. So you want to be able to see the agency really showing their DNA in the film in order to be able to be convinced that they can they represent your DNA in your advertising.
Yeah, thanks very much. Okay, let's see the shortlist film.
Everyone's talking about this new hoverboard.
The Lexus hoverboard.
I know, it's not riding it.
Spoke too soon.
We are WCRS, a creative agency that's been going for 37 years because we create work people care about. Our ideas stand the test of time, as do our client partnerships. This year, we're celebrating a decade working with Sky, Santander and Churchill.
Yes.
How do we do it? We put our clients at the heart of everything, making the most effective creative work possible.
I love that bit at the end. I love that bit at the end. What surprised and delighted you, Adrian, about what you saw from the shortlist of those three agencies?
I think if I start with what delighted me, the real results and customer focus that was demonstrated and shown throughout the films showed, I think, a real attention to the purpose of what the film is meant to do. And I think, secondly, there was very, very clear storytelling. So they each came from different perspectives, but the story of what the film was trying to tell was told very, very clearly and very articulately. I think the piece that surprised me, which is the bit that should surprise me, is the creative and strategic ability and the imagination shown in delivering some excellent campaigns and excellent examples of campaigns. And
yeah, but that's actually one of the things that's really nice, isn't it? That we get to see really fantastic work. And it's easy, isn't it, sometimes to bash the industry, but you do see some fantastic work, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of them conveyed the work, the partnership, and they imbued a confidence. And I was actually just recently, we have a big, you mentioned entrepreneurs earlier, we have a big entrepreneur program in America, and we had amazing entries, one of which was Bill Marriott. I think he's like a 90-year-old guy, and the founder of Fitbit as another extreme. And Bill Marriott won, and this, he came on stage, and there's a man who's navigated a business through all sorts of change and all sorts of disruption. And for a traditional business, they're probably the most digitally orientated. And I think the point about some of these, if you look at the WCRS film, is they've been going a long time. They weren't trying to convey, hey, we the new kid on the block that's got all this digital Fitbit type thing. But they've been modern in a traditional sense, still creating compelling content ideas, whatever the platform.
Yep.
And I think that's true of all of those three entries.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Vic, do we have an audience question?
Hello, we do. We have actually a few, but
Go on, then.
the top ones. Did you judge the agency films in the same way you would judge a TV commercial?
Oh, good question.
No. It is a great question, I think. But again, I would say, dare I say it, I'm judging it more as an infomercial, if you want to use that term. I think kind of a 60-second commercial, is almost redundant in many instances. I think this is a more informative content piece. So my personal answer is no. But does it tell a compelling, single-minded, simple story with the right brand in there? Yes.
But my answer for that question would also be no.
Oh, yeah. Good question at the top. We might answer that in a second.
Yeah, I think essentially the film is being judged to do a job for you.
Can we share the joke, please? There are questions behind
here. Why are there only 5 of 22 female judges? It's a very, very good question.
We tried.
Very, very hard. We did have lots more, and every judge that pulled out, we had 30 when we started, and 22 came, and the other ones were women that pulled out, which I think is an issue around how do we make diversity happen, and how do you get women to turn up to things because they pull out and it's the problem.
Can I just add to that?
Doesn't mean it's a good answer though.
I think it's a great question, and when you're talking about diversity earlier, the amount of times agencies turn up to us, and we've got a massive Women Fast Forward program, for example. Sean in the audience is going. The amount of times agencies turn up with lots of men and not one woman or any other diversity is extraordinary. So for me, I would say, if I was going, what could be added to all of these films that we saw, is D&I. So it's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Does data have any place in directing storytelling, or should it remain purely instinctive?
I think in the context of an agency film, I think it absolutely does, because ultimately, as businesses, we're going to get judged on the outputs of what we do through numbers. So I think absolutely data intrinsically sits in as part of the storytelling behind the agency film.
Right, let's go on to onto the runners-up. So I'm going to give you, John, the piece of paper with a drum roll that says the runners-up.
And the drum roll.
That's the drum roll.
Okay, the runners-up are Gyro and WCRS. Please come to the stage.
Hello.
Hello.
Excellent.
How are you?
If you get
You get an award.
an award, we have a quick picture. Congratulations. Well done.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Well done. Well done. Come, you have to stand here and have a picture. And then we'll take a picture there first. We have a quick picture here of the WCRS lot. Well, do we want everyone all together? Yes, have you all together. That'll be perfect. Well, okay. Yes, all together. Yeah. Thank you. You can announce the winner. Yep. Yep.
And we're delighted to announce that the winner is the And-Partnership for their work on Lexis. So come up to the stage.
Oh, sorry. Well done, you. Excellent. Brilliant, thank you. Yep, thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Adrian. Fantastic.